Okay, our first module is about trends in international energy markets and trends in the global fuel mix, which is a normal denominator of total primary energy sources. We can see that a few decades ago, for instance in 1973, the world fuel mix production dynamic was entirely different from now. So you can see here on this figure that almost a half of world production was constituted by oil, and traditional biomass with coal would follow the oil. And if you even look before the 1950s, coal was the dominant fuel worldwide, and transition to oil products occurred thanks to the technological developments in the transport sector. The era of oil starts actually in 1960s, which made oil the world traded commodity and created an international energy market. Geopolitical and geoeconomic tensions followed, furthermore, a crisis of 1973. And since then, we see a very different picture a few decades after. So here we see that the relative share of oil has decreased since 1973, although in absolute terms we produce twice more oil than we used to in 1970s. Natural gas is penetrated in the markets, and some would even call it a fuel of 21st century. Coal and traditional biomass remain important in some regions, but the relative share has declined. And then we also see a fast growth of non-fossil fuels non-fossil fuel energies such as nuclear and renewable energy. If you look at the energy demand per region, then we can see that in 1970s, more than 60% of demand was concentrated in Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, assembling the most developed states. By 2009, non-OECD countries consumed already more energy than the OECD countries. Among others, China, as well as South and East Asia, excluding China, were the main contributors to the energy demand growth. By contrast, former Soviet Union, as well as North America and Western Europe, either stagnate or decrease the energy demand. However, in absolute figures, we see a total energy demand growth which constitute a double compared to what we have seen in 1970s. And we can be certain that there is a shift from the west to east in the energy demand. As far as sectors are concerned, we should first of all look at the oil production. You see that oil production in the world is extremely fragmented. A big number of countries produce oil. Although Russia, Saudi Arabia, and the United States are the three main oil producers. However, the oil is highly fragmented at international level, which is not the case, for example, of the natural gas. And you know, natural gas initially was considered to be a substitute of oil. But now, natural gas markets emerge at regional levels. The biggest producers of natural gas are Russia and the United States. Both of them are not only big producers, but also the world's largest consumers of natural gas. Coal production, by contrast to oil and gas, is extremely concentrated. You can see that China alone produces more than half of the world coal production. United States, India, Australia are very important producers, but once you're looking at the rest of the world, the share of the rest of the world will be only 5%. The coal sector is very concentrated, but its political importance decreased over time, and the security level regarding coal has also declined. However, if you look back into history, you will see that a number of conflicts, including the First World War, occurred because, or partly because, of the access to the coal industry. It is also important to note that East and South Asia are still massively dependent on the coal consumption. Electricity demand has been growing since the 1970s. But there is a very important geographical discrepancy in the generation of electricity from various fuels. A number of states generate electricity on coal and peat, mostly China, the United States, India. Power generation and oil products is mostly concentrated in Middle East, North Africa, and, first of all, the oil-producing states. So you can see that only Saudi Arabia contains 12% of world power generation capacity in oil products. Nevertheless, oil products are almost phased out from electricity generation in OECD countries. However, electricity generation in natural gas is very important in the OECD, first of all, in North America and Western Europe, as well as in former Soviet Union. And you see that Russia constitutes 11% of the generation capacities on natural gas. But what is Europe's place in world energy markets? The answer to this question will be provided in the following interview.